Bangladesh, officially the People's Republic of Bangladesh, is a country in South Asia. It is the 8th most populous country in the world, with a population of around 169 million people in an area of 148,460 square kilometers, 57,320 square miles. Bangladesh is among the most densely populated countries in the world, and shares land borders with India to the west, north, and east, and Myanmar to the southeast. To the south it has a coastline along the Bay of Bengal. It is narrowly separated from Bhutan and Nepal by the Siliguri Corridor, and from China by the Indian state of Sikkim in the north. Dhaka, the capital and largest city, is the nation's political, financial and cultural center. Chittagong, the second largest city, is the busiest port on the Bay of Bengal. The official language is Bengali, one of the easternmost branches of the Indo-European language family. Bangladesh forms the sovereign part of the historic and ethno-linguistic region of Bengal, which was divided during the partition of India in 1947. The country has a Bengali Muslim majority. Ancient Bengal was known as Ganges-Brahmaputra and was a bastion of pre-Islamic kingdoms. Muslim conquests after 1204 heralded the Sultanate and Mughal periods, during which an independent Bengal Sultanate and a wealthy Mughal Bengal transformed the region into an important center of regional affairs, trade, and diplomacy. After 1757, Bengal's administrative jurisdiction reached its greatest extent under the Bengal Presidency of the British Empire. The creation of Eastern Bengal and Assam in 1905 set a precedent for the emergence of Bangladesh. In 1940, the first Prime Minister of Bengal A.K. Fazlul Huq supported the Lahore Resolution. Before the partition of Bengal, a Bengali sovereign state was first proposed by Premier H.S. Surewardi. A referendum and the announcement of the Radcliffe Line established the present-day territorial boundary of Bangladesh. In 1947, East Bengal became the most populous province in the Dominion of Pakistan. It was renamed as East Pakistan, with Dhaka becoming the country's legislative capital. The Bengali language movement in 1952, the East Bengali legislative election, 1954, the 1958 Pakistani coup d'état, the Six-Point Movement of 1966, and the 1970 Pakistani general election resulted in the rise of Bengali nationalism and pro-democracy movements in East Pakistan. The refusal of the Pakistani military junta to transfer power to the Awami League, led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, led to the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971, in which the Mukti Bahini aided by India waged a successful armed revolution. The conflict saw the Bangladesh genocide, Ganahata, and the massacre of pro-independence Bengali civilians, including intellectuals. The new state of Bangladesh became the first constitutionally secular state in South Asia in 1972. Islam was declared the state religion in 1988. In 2010, the Bangladesh Supreme Court reaffirmed secular principles in the constitution. A middle power in the Indo-Pacific, Bangladesh is home to the sixth most spoken language in the world, the third largest Muslim-majority population in the world, and the second largest economy in South Asia. It maintains the third largest military in the region and the largest contributor of personnel to UN peacekeeping operations. Bangladesh is a unitary parliamentary republic based on the Westminster system. Bengalis make up 99% of the total population of Bangladesh. The country consists of 8 divisions, 64 districts and 495 sub-districts, as well as the world's largest mangrove forest. It hosts one of the largest refugee populations in the world due to the Rohingya genocide. Bangladesh faces many challenges, particularly corruption, political instability, overpopulation and effects of climate change. Bangladesh has been a leader within the Climate Vulnerable Forum. It hosts the headquarters of BIMSTEC. It is a founding member of SAARC, as well as a member of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and the Commonwealth of Nations. Stone Age tools have been found in different parts of Bangladesh. Remnants of Copper Age settlements date back 4,000 years. Ancient Bengal was settled by Austroasiatics, Tibeto-Burmans, Dravidians and Indo-Aryans in consecutive waves of migration. Archaeological evidence confirms that by the 2nd millennium BCE, rice-cultivating communities inhabited the region. By the 11th century, people lived in systemically aligned housing, buried their dead, and manufactured copper ornaments and black and red pottery. The Ganges, Brahmaputra and Meghna rivers were natural arteries for communication and transportation, and estuaries on the Bay of Bengal permitted maritime trade. The early Iron Age saw the development of metal weaponry, coinage, agriculture, and irrigation. Major urban settlements formed during the late Iron Age, in the mid-1st millennium BCE, when the northern black, polished ware culture developed. In 1879, Alexander Cunningham identified Mahasthangar as the capital of the Pundar kingdom mentioned in the Rigveda. The oldest inscription in Bangladesh was found in Mahasthangar and dates from the 3rd century BCE. It is written in the Brahmi script. Greek and Roman records of the ancient Ganges-Brahmaputra kingdom, which, according to legend, deterred the invasion of Alexander the Great, are linked to the fort city in Wari Bateshwar. The site is also identified with the prosperous trading center of Sonagura listed on Ptolemy's world map. Roman geographers noted a large seaport in southeastern Bengal, corresponding to the present-day Chittagong region. Ancient Buddhist and Hindu states which ruled Bangladesh included the Vanga, Samatata and Pundar kingdoms, the Mauryan and Gupta empires, the Varman dynasty, Shashanka's kingdom, the Khadga and Kandra dynasties, the Pala Empire, the Sena dynasty, the Harakila kingdom and the Deva dynasty. These states had well-developed currencies, banking, shipping, architecture, and art, and the ancient universities of Baikrampur and Mainamati hosted scholars and students from other parts of Asia. Gopala I was the first ever elected ruler of the region in 750 AD. During a time of turmoil the people of Bengal elected him to restore stability in the region at which he was successful, then went on to form the Pala dynasty that ruled until 1161 AD, during which time Bengal prospered. Xuanzang of China was a noted scholar who resided at the Somapura Mahavihara, the largest monastery in ancient India, and Atissa traveled from Bengal to Tibet to preach Buddhism. The earliest form of the Bengali language emerged during the 8th century. Seafarers in the Bay of Bengal, where modern Bangladesh is now located, have also been sailing and trading with Southeast Asia and exported Buddhist and Hindu cultures to the region since the early Christian era. Bangladesh is a small, lush country in South Asia, located on the Bay of Bengal. It is surrounded almost entirely by neighboring India and shares a small border with Myanmar to its southeast, though it lies very close to Nepal, Bhutan, and China. The country is divided into 3 regions. Most of the country is dominated by the fertile Ganges Delta, the largest river delta in the world. The northwest and central parts of the country are formed by the Madhepur and the Barren Plateaus. The northeast and southeast are home to evergreen hill ranges. The Ganges Delta is formed by the confluence of the Ganges, local name Padma or Pada, Brahmaputra, Jamuna or Jamuna, and Meghna rivers and their respective tributaries. The Ganges unites with the Jamuna, main channel of the Brahmaputra, and later join the Meghna, finally flowing into the Bay of Bengal. Bangladesh is called the Land of Rivers, as it is home to over 57 transboundary rivers, the most of any nation-state. Water issues are hence politically complicated inasmuch as the country is a lower riparian state to India. Bangladesh is predominantly rich fertile flat land. Most of it is less than 12 meters, 39 feet, above sea level, and it is estimated that about 10% of its land would be flooded if the sea level were to rise by 1 meter, 3.3 feet. 17% of the country is covered by forests and 12% is covered by hill systems. The country's Hayar wetlands are of significance to global environmental science. The highest point in Bangladesh is the Saka Haphong, located near the border with Myanmar, with an elevation of 1,064 meters, 3,491 feet. Previously, either Kiakradong or Tazingdong were considered the highest. Bangladesh is a de jure representative democracy under its constitution, with a Westminster-style unitary parliamentary republic that has universal suffrage. The head of government is the Prime Minister, who is invited to form a government every 5 years. The President invites the leader of the largest party in parliament to become Prime Minister of the world's 5th largest democracy. Bangladesh experienced a 2-party system between 1990 and 2014, when the Awami League and the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, alternated in power. During this period, elections were managed by a neutral caretaker government. But the caretaker government was abolished by the Awami League government in 2011. Legislative, the Jatiya Sangshad, National Parliament, is the unicameral parliament. It has 350 members of parliament, MPs, including 300 MPs elected on the first-past-the-post system and 50 MPs appointed to reserved seats for women's empowerment. Article 70 of the Constitution of Bangladesh forbids MPs from voting against their party. However, several laws proposed independently by MPs have been transformed into legislation, including the anti-torture law. The parliament is presided over by the Speaker of the Jatiya Sangsad, who is second in line to the president as per the constitution. There is also a deputy speaker. When a president is incapable of performing duties, i.e. due to illness, the speaker steps in as acting president and the deputy speaker becomes acting speaker. A recurring proposal suggests that the deputy speaker should be an opposition member. Executive. The government of Bangladesh is overseen by a cabinet headed by the Prime Minister of Bangladesh. The tenure of a parliamentary government is 5 years. The Bangladesh Civil Service assists the cabinet in running the government. Recruitment for the civil service is based on a public examination. In theory, the civil service should be a meritocracy. But a disputed quota system coupled with politicization and preference for seniority have allegedly affected the civil service's meritocracy. The President of Bangladesh is the ceremonial head of state whose powers include signing bills passed by Parliament into law. The President is elected by the Parliament for a 5-year tenure. Under the Constitution, the President acts on the Prime